We don't want to be Sundance. We don't want to be Sundance Light. We're building something that is unique. I've had a couple of situations in my life that were life-defining, where I had to sit and think, now the most expeditious thing would be to go against what I really believe in and to do something because I would make more money, I would get more accolades. And I've always, thanks to my mother and father, been able to say to myself, no, if you compromise on this, then you'll compromise when it really counts. Most films, nobody cares whether it's seen or not, but this one, there are people that don't want it to be seen, your film.
Yeah.
So that's even more important to have it seen. I interviewed a Navajo shaman, or a Dine, they call themselves Dine. And the Navajo have no word for good and no word for evil, because they feel that there's some of both in all of us. And to be so judgmental is to say, oh, you're evil, but you're good. And there's no differentiation between the two. That, I think, gets to an area that is pretty dangerous and leads to some of the things we're seeing now. Oh, you're good and you're evil and I hate you and I love you. And it's way more complicated than that. And with a documentary film, you can get into that complication. It's not just a one-note hammering away at your point of view to the exclusion of anything else. And that's what I try and do with Docuta. We have some films in here that don't go down well with our demographic, but I feel that it's important for somebody to open their mind up to be able to sit and watch the way another person thinks about maybe a topic that you've already made up your mind about.
Phil Tuckett has won more than 30 Emmy Awards for his documentary films. 12 years ago, he founded the Docuta International Documentary Film Festival, which every year receives hundreds of submissions from filmmakers from around the world.
We don't want to be Sundance. We don't want to be Sundance Light. And we're building something that is unique, because there are other documentary-only festivals in the country and in the world, but this is the only one sponsored by a university, where we have our students introducing the films at the festival and making a film to be shown at the festival. The only one in the world, and there's nothing else like it.
While the festival may be unique, enjoying movies on the big screen hasn't changed much.
We are going behind the scenes to see a projection room. This is how movies play on the big screen. Brian?
Hi.
I'm Kay, nice to meet you.
How are you doing, Kay?
Good,
Nice
thanks.
to meet you.
A lot of people think about cinema, you've got the old projection screens and everything, but it's not like that anymore, right? I mean, you've got a laptop here.
It's not. So, well, for the festival, we do run things a little bit different than the movie theater for major films. So for major films, the movies come in with like encoding and encryption and stuff like that, so it makes copying the films really difficult. They get ingested into a computer system, which then distributes the films to the different theaters. But for the festival, because we're playing 100 films, not just 5 or 6 that would be playing in a standard theater, we have to be able to condense that in a format that we can manage.
Have you been volunteering every year?
I've been a volunteer since day one with the festival. Yep.
And that's more than 10 years. Wow. And what keeps you coming back?
It's well, I would say it's a lot of fun, but it's also been stressful. But it is actually a lot of fun, and the relationships that we've been able to form with the people in the film community, as well as the patrons that come to the festival, have really been the thing that keeps drawing me back each year. So I'm kind of the main techno nerd that everybody relies on to make sure the festival runs.
What's the worst thing that could go wrong or has gone wrong for you?
Oh, well, you know, versus like playing the wrong film, starting another film in the middle of another film.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been a lot of different technical glitches, but most of the problems that we've had over the last 11 years is when filmmaking formats kind of push up against the technology that we're using.
Is there something special about documentaries for you as opposed to other movies?
For me, a feature film, you leave and you feel, you know, excited or exhilarated based on the thing, but then you kind of forget about it right after you leave. With a documentary, you're learning something new, something that impacts your life, something that you know, when you leave, you actually have a changed perspective possibly on a topic, or something that's going to change the direction of how you're going to do things into the future. You definitely leave a documentary feeling changed because of the information that you just saw. And that's the importance of documentary filmmaking, is that it's not only the educational piece, but also the transformative piece. When you see those types of documentaries and you see the impacts that happen in people's lives, that's what changes you, and hopefully is the call to action that helps you, you know, move forward as a better person than what you were when you walked into the film.
Transformation, impact, call to action. Anything else that documentaries are?
They can be fun. A lot of fun.
Oh, good. I always feel that everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. Every story has value.
Once I get started, I can find a story, always. If you have the right
Perspective?
intelligence and curiosity to go in and find out what the human drama is here, and the human comedy, and the human frightening, scary, let's hope that this doesn't happen to our children. Here's our program. There's 100 films in here. And because I was the final decision maker on every one of them, I could tell you the reason why every one of these films is worthwhile for a person to see. That'll make them a better person and make them a more educated, well-rounded, empathetic human being to see these films, because there's so much variety in them. And that's what I love about documentaries. That's why, you know, I got to keep making them to make my best one before I croak.
Phil, you're a bit of a rare breed, starting off as a footballer and a writer.
Yeah, I was a jock through and through. And it wasn't until I was in professional football, tangentially, I was hanging by my fingernails on the team, that I met a guy named Ed Sable, the president and founder of NFL Films, and showed him an article that I'd written. And he looked at it and he said, well, you need to quit the team and come with me because you can write. And I've never met a football player who could write. He said, I'll teach you a profession. I'll pay you while I'm teaching you. You'll make good money. You'll support your family. You'll have fun. And you'll do it the rest of your life. It was beyond my wildest dreams that I would ever find something that was that much fun and challenging. And I've made hundreds of films of various lengths and all different subject matters, but all documentaries. I tell my students, I haven't made my best film yet, because everything I do, I learn from, and I'm better the next time out with the next project.